According to the IELTS writing marking rubric, in order to get a Band 9 for task achievement, a candidate's essay must present a fully developed position in answer to the question with relevant, fully extended, and well-supported ideas. In other words, your ideas must not simply be stated as a list. Instead, you must expand upon your ideas with explanations and examples. I have covered paragraph structure in various other videos, but here we will simply say that a body paragraph should have 3 parts: main idea, explanation, and example. There are, of course, exceptions to this rule, but that is a pretty common type of paragraph that will serve you well in the IELTS exam. Let's look at 2 examples of body paragraphs. I'll give you a moment to read these. So which one is the best? Answer 2 is better. Why? Because it is more developed. You can see how it conforms to make the basic structure that we listed above. Here we have used 1 sentence to outline the main idea of the paragraph, 2 sentences to explain that main idea, and 1 sentence to give an example as evidence of why this idea is true. Answer 1 just wasn't very good, because rather than developing the main idea, it simply listed reasons to support it. This is okay, but it's not a very advanced method of paragraph composition. Generally speaking, it is better to pick 1 or 2 ideas and expand them carefully with good explanations and relevant examples. Listing ideas is not impressive and will not allow you to score highly. It is useful to think of an example during the planning phase of your IELTS writing test, and to do this every time you write a practice essay. This will help you get into the habit of writing fully developed paragraphs. For the previous paragraph, I would have written notes like, global cooperation, all countries agree for all people, rich countries support poor ones, and then an example, borrowing equipment. This sort of plan is very useful for IELTS and other sorts of writing. You start with a big idea and then refine it with a narrow focus, while each idea supports the previous one. We end with a realistic example that makes the big picture become clearer for the reader. It is a better method of writing than simply listing ideas. In my sample paragraph previously, you could see that I used the phrase "for example" when introducing my example. This is really common and effective, and it's a good way of introducing an example to your writing. However, there are other ways to do it. We can say, for instance, such as, to illustrate, or namely. I'll give you a moment to read these example sentences. There are other ways to introduce examples, including not using any sort of introductory phrase at all. In fact, just placing an example naturally into a text without "for example" or "for instance" can be incredibly effective. Here is one such example. Notice the phrase "a little Italy or Chinatown far from Italy or China." This is our example, but it is not introduced by any typical phrase, like "for example." Despite all that, you may want to just stick with "for example" as a matter of convenience. It's easy to use and easy to remember. Of course, you want variety in your writing, but you won't realistically be using many examples, and so there won't be any need to vary your language in this instance.